all met. You've all met my nephew and godson David. Like two famous singers and a stripper, I say, let me entertain you. But unlike Robbie Williams, the late, great, but still wonderful Freddie Mercury, I'm not really an entertainer. In fact, I'm a nurse. A general nurse at that. Like most experienced nurses, I don't shock easy. So when a 25-year-old woman told me in the wee small hours that she came out when she was 18, I thought, yeah, okay. It turned out she came out as a Collingwood supporter in a Carlton family. I worked in a renal unit and produced a book for patients with renal failure. It was called Debbie Does Dialysis. I also worked in a clinic where people could really turn their lives around. It was the Hokey Pokey Clinic. I didn't stay there long. It was a bit too hokey. I know a nurse. I know a doctor who, as a young doctor, was in a group of with other fellow young doctors, and the big head honcho was asking everyone if they knew about a particular very rare disease. Nobody said anything, and so she piped up and spoke all about it. The head honcho was very impressed and said, how do you know about that? And she said, oh, I read about it. She wasn't game to say that she saw it on Grey's Anatomy. Speaking of female doctors, I don't feel like the contribution that the influx of female doctors, especially Asian female doctors, has been properly acknowledged in recent years. They have such good handwriting. I had a patient, a man in his 40s, who said that the procedure he'd had done was more painful than childbirth. I'm serious. It was a minor procedure and he said it was more painful than childbirth. I left it alone and just thought, his poor wife. I've asked many patients over the years if a man goes into the middle of the forest and there is absolutely no one around and the man says something, is he still wrong? Women always say yes. And men, especially if they're with their wife or girlfriend, say, yeah, probably. I'm not anti-men though. Really, I'm not anti-men at all. I might sound it, but I'm not anti-men. Some of my best friends, my best colleagues, all my partners have been men, and they probably still are. But I do feel for men. I know they get it hard sometimes, and I do recognise that. I had one patient who said that he put off marriage for a long time because he wanted to wait for Miss Right. He was determined to wait for Miss Right. It turned out she was Miss Always Bloody Right. And another poor guy, he married a woman just for her looks. Not the one she's giving him now. I was the youngest of six. Mum and Dad had six kids under 6. And my brother Tom named me. He had just started school. He was 5. He'd just started school. and he'd heard a bit about Mary, the Mother of God, and thought she sounded pretty awesome. So, yeah, no pressure. I got my second name from an aunt, and the nuns at school loved it. Mary Grace. The boys thought it was hilarious. Hail Mary, full of grace. So it turns out I really want you guys to enjoy yourselves and really laugh. I may well have a few contacts up there. Mum barracked for Mum barracked for Collingwood, and the rest of us all barracked for Essendon. And ahead of a big game, Mum was lamenting the fact that Collingwood always seemed to get the spooks and have the wobbles for the big games. And she was talking about it with Dad one night. The next day, Dad used it in his column with Lou Richards, used the collywobbles in his column with Lou Richards, and it stuck. The collywobbles stuck. Something I would like to add that I hope will stick is that if someone says someone is funny, I suggest we ask, especially in a health setting, in a hospital setting, I suggest we ask, funny ha-ha or funny la-la? I hope it sticks. I was one of the millions globally wearing full PPE during COVID, and I only mentioned that time to note the brilliant front page the Hobart Mercury had at the time. It had a picture of the map of Tassie with the words, "We have a moat and we're not afraid to use it." I worked as a general reporter and I worked as a nurse, then a reporter for 9 years as a general reporter and health reporter for Uncle Rupert. But it was the lure of the status and the big bucks and all the glamour that drew me back to nursing, as you can imagine. And I've worked with some wonderful nurses over the years, nurses of all shapes, sizes, genders, sexualities, colours, religions, and most of them work really hard under difficult circumstances. But unfortunately, I've worked with a couple of shockers, especially one. She was just a bitch with a capital C. But I'm told bullies are everywhere. They're in all workplaces. I hear they're everywhere. They're even in some families. But you know, it's apparently they're everywhere. I also remember when having a Trump was a good thing. It appears we've got another scourge around this country, the far right, and I hope we get through it like we somehow got through COVID. We did a great job, and I would just like to say thank you very much, everyone. My name's Mary Pryor, and I like to think of myself as Hala.